Capibaras. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AI Amigos show. My name is Marina, and I'm here with my good friend James. How are you, James? All good?
Hello.
And
Hello.
as you see, as you see, today we have a very good guest in our podcast. Hi, Hamza. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me join in. It's nice
So,
to be here myself. Yeah.
We
just
accept everyone who pays, Hamza. Just kidding.
just as a little introduction, Hamza is a PhD candidate in computer science with specialty in computer vision. And he has many years of experience in the industry, in academia, and is the CTO and co-founder of Forkit Dev. So, Hamza, we are super happy to have you, and with a very interesting topic today that is touching some points that people are really concerned about. That is the energy, sustainability, and what is happening with AI in all this game. So to throw the first question here on the field, and then throwing the ball to you, and also like to James to jump on it. I wanted to ask you, how do you think that AI is actually changing the way that we produce, distribute, and consume the energy? Do you think that AI will really play a role in the future?
Yeah, of course. So, what I feel like now, till now, we are focusing a lot more on the AI accuracy and how much load it can take till now. But the fact is, yeah, at the same time, these things are also important. But now we have good resources. Like, for example, if you see the phones, these resources are now being updated. So, being upgraded like every year or half of the year, we can see every other models are coming with the upgraded chip. So now we have the resources are getting smaller, so that can process heavy duty task. So I feel now is the time to focus on how the machines should react with these resources and how much can we get output from these resources, like the best possibility to get out from these resources. So if you see till now, we were focusing on the accuracy more, like how much accurate this process can be. But now is the time when I see a bit the world is shifting and they're focusing on how efficiently that process can be done. Because as you know, we can see the data uh, centers are getting transferred like a bit, taking a lot of power consumption. So people are focusing on that. And
Yes,
in
but a
AI,
couple of years ago, it wasn't like this, because I remember all this topic about sustainability and how do we do with the energy started when we needed more GPUs and we needed more power to keep AI running. So even I remember a couple of episodes ago, well, many couple of episodes ago, we discussed about the big technological companies buying, for example, power centers to keep AI running, and it was kind of okay. So what?
Nuclear power centers, power
Ex-
plants, is what they
yeah,
call
even
it.
they made
exactly,
it nuclear
exactly. So,
power plant. Yeah.
and even it is happening, in some countries. Let's say, well, yes, like let's call it like a non-emerging countries. So then, what is happening is like there are data centers there and everything. So then, to keep everything running, because the electricity that is needed, the energy that is needed, is really huge. It's not just the energy, it's the energy, the water, is everything, like to keep it running. Do you think that this one would actually be a problem in the future? Do you think that maybe AI can help in the future, or in the near future actually, to reach the net zero faster, for example? Or do you think that the energy will become a problem?
The energy will become a problem, of course, because we don't have like infinity amount of energy still now. And at the same time, the thing is that in the industry side, in the industry platform, apart from this AI, we also need the energies over there to distribute. But the thing is, we have to do it in a smart way so that we can make it a proper use of those. So as for till now, you have already seen that Elon Musk is also trying to put the whole data center out in the space.
Yeah,
So
I was going to mention that. I saw that interview the other day.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
The problem is, like, if you go to work there, then there is no way to come back.
Well,
So,
one thing I will say that was an interesting point that, well, someone didn't connect this dots, but what they were connecting was they were saying, like, how Elon Musk saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to Mars and blah blah blah," right? So they were saying that if humans went to Mars, like the minute we arrived there, we wouldn't even last a week, because obviously it's a different planet. But what I'm saying is, like, even to try to make it habitable like spaces and whatever protection and stuff. So he's going to send robots. And then I was thinking, because someone was talking about the economics of sending these data centers into space, like if we can't even help someone. Remember that was this cosmonaut, the Russian guy that was stuck in there for a year or whatever in the International Space Station, and we couldn't even go get him. So they were saying, like, the economics of that is not going to work. But then I was thinking, well, what if you just sent the robots into
well,
the
so
data center to maintain it, because they don't need oxygen, they don't need it to be cold or warm or blah blah blah.
Course, that would be a great thing, but there is the point. So to train those things, so we need a lot of data basically to train these things. For example, till now we were focusing on text, then we came to the image point, but now we are focusing on video also a lot, right? And
Yeah.
to generate this kind of precise video, if you see over the past years, the data centers has been increased, but also the data also has been increased. We have changed the way we used to train the AI models, right? So previously it was only with the text, then it has been updated with the images, videos. Now if you see this
voice.
new AI models, like I've seen the last one, the Alibaba, I think, has one Quince something, or there is also another one from this Google's new one. So they can make the video a lot much more nicer.
Hmm.
Yes, and even now there are researchers in academia. I just heard recently that they are working in the emotions. So then, for example, if you have a translation, let's say from a song or from a movie or whatever, instead of just having the voice, trying to place the same emotion of the original version. Which is, like, that one would be fantastic. But anyway, so the main point, if I understand correctly, is that now when we are focusing on images, voice, well, clips, etc., so then we
No,
need more
what
data,
I
and
was
then we need more data centers.
what I was basically saying, like, these are the reason. Basically, we need a lot of data. So I was coming to this. I was talking about this video data. Why? Because if we have a lot of video data now to train the robot that precisely, then it can work in Mars or some other places where we want to implement this thing. So of course
Sorry,
we need.
I'm laughing because for me it's hard to imagine. Okay, we will have the robots working in Mars to to keep the data centers there, and then the energy is actually out there. And I am even wondering, how will we do in general, right, as a humanity, to send the energy there, to have the power in Mars? How? It would be like another different story. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible, because I really don't know. I think AI is growing
that,
faster than
that is
ever.
going to take time, of course, because
Yeah.
like till now we came with very little by little, but now, like, past 7 to 8 years, things a bit faster on this kind of improvements and all.
Well,
So who knows? With the time, we can get those points. But now I have seen that they are focusing on Moon more than Mars. So they are like going to jump step by step. So that's the
I think
reason
but I was
they
going
are.
to say, remember that Elon Musk said this, and he only owns a space company that sends satellites and Starlink. So he probably has a very biased opinion in regards to he's marketing his own company. You know what I'm saying? So he's not giving an impartial opinion. he's looking for buyers of his products.
Well, hold on. So then you know that I work in a startup accelerator, and also we have some startups that they work with the space, like in a space project. And of course, like what they need, the fundings that they need are huge, because it's not something that you said, okay, like with 20,000 euro, I can actually get it running. You
Of
need to
course,
actually
these are the
send
things
like a
that
satellite to the space.
these are the things that shows that people are now focusing on sustainability more, so that we can push a bit things outside of our space, so that we can have like a bit more sustainability here, so we can make it more efficient, the things that we are doing here.
But like, let me ask you something about academia as well, because I assume that academia probably is very involved in all these topics, because it's
Of
something that
course.
we will need at some point. Um, what about the fundings for this kind of projects in academia? Because I know that academia is sustained by many companies, for example, that they are investing. Let's say you were working a project related to automobile industry, for example. So then there were some sponsors, let's say, from big companies, like sponsoring these for PhDs and so on. So what happened with these sustainability topics? So the fundings are growing, they are not. How is the situation? Because a couple of years ago, I remember many people who were in the field of geology, marine biology, and all this stuff. They just changed the subject or changed the areas because there were no many fundings there.
Now is the time when we have become like the scroller people, so we want things to be happen much more faster, I would say. So last 3 4 years during my projects, what I've seen, people are more focusing on the benefits, like how fast you can get revenue out of your products, rather than that is going to be for take time to get the revenue, you know so the thing was like, if it's a non-profitable fund, or like non-profitable organizations, or if the fundings are from, I would say government has a bit funding on this, but from the private funders, I wouldn't say, like the investors, they are not that much focused, or not focused, but not that much strongly in this to invest on this sustainability or this kind of things, because people now love to see the revenues much more faster, of course. At the same time, this makes sense because now things are changing very fast. As we can see in AI world, there are almost every other week you can see something big is coming up. So yeah, focusing on a single place would be tough. But now at the same time, we also can see there are these AI acts are rising on the top. So people are focusing on responsibility AI, as they also need to do the paperwork.
Yeah, of course. And what about the automobile industry? So I know that you were working on that area for a while. Are they investing in different kind of energies? Because I know, for example, now Germany is offering some grants if you buy an electric car, for instance. I know that other countries are also with this kind of initiatives, but this is not really AI related. So is there anything that maybe, if companies actually already work with AI to reduce emissions, for example, or something that people don't really notice in the daily basis?
So I have worked like, based on my experience, I have worked with the industries, but mostly with the machine manufacturers, like in the textile or printed circuit boards. So
Mhm.
those printed circuit boards companies, they are basically connected with this AI industry. And also in my colleagues, they were working with this AI automotive industry. So through that, I got to know some updates regarding like how the industries or where the industries are focusing now. So as far I have known, or I can see, they are focusing on the zero emission. So, and due to that, you can see a lot of electric cars are rising. And also now, if you see the people are focusing, like this AI automotive industries are focusing on the battery more,
Hmm.
because if they can change the battery cells, then they can make it a bit more range on that small battery. So already this BYD, then BMW i3, I think the old i3 got this new battery update which can give it a bit more range. So they're focusing on the zero emission, like electronic cars more, to give it more range, and at the same time to make it completely autonomous. Like there is very interesting BMW project named next I think next vision. So there they have shown that they merge the reality, the virtual reality with the real, so what you can see on the display, like the glass and all the front screen, so wherever you are driving on that environment, if you change the visual effects, it will give you completely different visuals, but the overall, the genuine environment would be the same. So they're focusing on the autonomous car, so it's like you are driving in a road, so they are going to change the structures, like the architectures of this road, maybe with buildings or trees. So those are going to be, the visual affected,
Hmm.
visual
Hmm.
would be on the top of that. So virtually from inside of the car, you are going to see different visuals, and they have also integrated fragrance with that. So you will get to have the fragrance, so you can change the season, and the visuals would be changed, and you will have the fragrance. So they are
This is
focusing on the autonomous car, but some how to say, some different kind of vibe inside the car.
But this kind of what I feel is something like you're in a movie watching in 3D. You know, like that you say, okay, there is something like nearby or whatever, but it's actually a bit far. That's how it sounds. How you describe it.
Yeah, so I feel like they're focusing on the autonomous car in the future, where we can also talk in a car but without bothering to look to drive or whatever.
Well,
Hamza, I don't know if you heard, but recently Marina is now driving on the road, so she
come
be
on,
careful out there. Number one,
people have to be careful now.
you got to be careful out there. And then Hamza, I was going to say to you in regards to, you were talking there about the moon and Mars. Which one do you prefer to go to? Which one are you going to? And would you go if you had a chance?
It would be much more closer than Mars.
Maybe there are chances to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that is true, because I think the people that go to Mars, that's the thing, is they're not coming back. Once you go, it's a one-way trip.
But I think, to be honest, it's much more important to focus in Earth and how we can make it more sustainable, because there are now, we can do a lot better with the Vive code and all those things. So we can at least have the idea about the things that we imagine, because sometimes I talk with so many people, so I see people has idea, but those ideas are very vague, very big ideas. But if you'd really like to go depth about your idea to make it happen, now this is the time you can do it with the help of GPTs, with the help of this Gemini, ChatGPT, or so on. So at least you can have the idea that how you can achieve to that point, right? So as we are making these AIs in so many places now, we are implementing AI, so we can focus on this thing, that how we can make it intelligent in terms of the things it is going to do, whatever tasks it is going to do. So for example, like I like in my PhD thesis, the work I'm working on, focusing on, it's like on the to make the scene adaptive. So I'm working in the computer vision side. So here, basically, the things I'm working on to make the AI adaptive, so that when it is reacting on a scene, it can react with the understandability that how much power it needs to to get the output from that
Yeah.
scenario. So if the models can be adaptive, if we can use multiple model, like for example, one can be heavier, one can be medium, and one can be smaller. So for example, we have surveillance cameras in so many places, and now those can detect the faces and so on. So those are taking power, but it is taking 24/7, it is taking the same power. So as it is taking the same resources, then it is generating the same heat also, right? Then at the same time, for this we are in need of water to cool down this heat. So what if this system can be that much adaptive to understand what's going on in front of this, so it can be in a empty parking area. So at that emptiness time, when there are no object or less object, then maybe the smaller model can be activated. And when there are more people or more objects there, the AI can be that much intelligent to understand that and to activate its heavier mode, medium mode, or lower mode. So the power consumption can be, uh, adaptive. So we can focus on so many things here right now to make it much more efficient.
Well, so I would like to remind our audience that they can jump into the conversation if you want to ask a question to Hamza, like take the advantage that we have an expert here in house on the podcast. Please feel free to do so. And remind you that this podcast is sponsored by Tequila AI. So if you need to implement AI solutions in your organization, you can check tequilaai.com, and our friends will treat you super well because you come from AI Amigos show. Now, I want to ask you a follow-up question, Hamza, regarding this, and maybe it's a bit spicy, but you were talking about the different models, the I don't know, the foundational models that we had, for energy systems as well. Do you think that we need highly specialized models, let's say, to improve the sustainability or to use less power? Because you are talking about, okay, let's have like places where they are empty that we can use, but the resources that we have on Earth are actually limited. This is
Yeah,
kind of the main problem here, I think.
yeah, exactly. I think it depends on the situations, scenarios, because not everywhere we are in need to have heavier models there. So this is first on us to understand, but also with the AI, basically what are we doing? We are trying to implement our intelligence on the AI so that AI can do the things behalf of us, right? So at that sense, I would say, yeah, we are going there. Basically, we are now trying to putting the responsibility, because there are the words trustworthiness, governance, responsibilities, these things are coming there. So the AI is also um, generating around these things. Like recently I have received an email that Google is also implemented a human intervene AI models so that they can track down on the decisions. So I think now the world is focusing also on that part, and through this way we can make these AI models much more um, intelligent in a way that what it is doing, if it is understanding what it is doing, then it can do that thing much more efficient, because as it is structured based. So yeah, why not?
And do you think that we need actually smarter models or more energy efficient models?
I think we need a smarter model, though this question is a
I'm thinking both.
I know it's a hard question. Well, but we're talking like we want to save the planet at the same time, right? So then I think it's a fair question.
But of course, we need a smarter model because at the same time, efficiency comes with some pros and cons, of course. So the cons would be here, as far I've seen, those efficient model are not that much performative, in terms of heavy performance when we need. So based on that, of course, if we are focusing on to make the model much more smarter, not just in terms of performing, but also in terms of how it can perform well, to focus on that point also.
And I have a personal question here. Are you optimistic about the future with all the energy consumption, the what we talk now, like the data centers and everything that is happening, or you are a bit skeptical?
Ah.
Now remember, Hamza, this is being recorded, okay? I just want to put a disclaimer out there for you.
Oh, what can I say? So yeah, at the same time, yes, of course, but not that extensively. But because at the same time, I can see we are doing a lot of work to make these energies a bit more, long term. So we are focusing on the nuclear a lot. Yeah, till now, see, this is also a plus point because before data centers, the nuclear powers were focused on much more, in the like electronics and those things like power plants and those sites. But now they're focused on the centers. So people are doing a bit more work around this nuclear, and also who knows, we might get a bit much more better solution with it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I know I've seen that they've become more quicker to build them, easier, smaller, more compact, and they don't produce as much waste as before. So it definitely is getting better in that respect. But the thing is, yourself is all it takes is one mistake. You can do a million things right, you do one thing wrong, and that's it. It's something to be respected, the power of it. But I do think it's far cleaner than other forms of energy.
But I believe at this point, if the intention is to make the sustainability, to put it in a good way, like rather than destruction, so of course then the outcome has to be good one.
Yeah, yeah.
well, that would be the idea. And then just to kind of go in rather to the end of our podcast, you are in the startup wars, you are a founder, you have seen many startups, around you. My question is, what should the founders start building today if they want to have an intersection between AI and sustainability? So what do you think that could be good ideas for this?
Yeah, as I have changed from academic to the founder side, so I feel like whatever today's founders are focusing on to build, they can maybe think how they can achieve to that point that they are focusing on, so that they can find out, like, if they are focusing on, for example, they are focusing on to achieve something, and then they have to focus that how they can achieve, like how the AI model reacting at that point. So we have, like, for example, now we have bigger models, but we can also see the smaller models, one shot learning models and all. So if we focus on the efficient model, then I think it would be much more better for the founders to, like, combine with this sustainability and efficiency.
But something that well, now you mentioned, and it's ringing the bell in my head, is when we think about the language models, for example, many founders or many startups, they actually depend on a large language model. Let's say that they connect to Gemini or to GPT or to DeepSeek. So in the end, they are still using kind of a lot of energy indirectly, but they are. So, do you think that the small models, for example, would work better? I don't really think that, right?
Small models not better in all platforms, and at the same time, to train a separate model on specifically in my task would be costly and resource oriented. So of course it would be tough. So that's the reason that now we are as a founder, we focus a lot on the cloud services, but of course at the same time we need to have this on device models. And
Mhm.
now these big companies like Google, Meta, for example, this Llama that is on device model. So they are focusing, Apple also focusing on to have the on device model due to privacy. So if we discover those more, and maybe to work on that to fine tune those on device models more, then we can get. And also if we work a bit more smartly sometimes to understand what we need. So just a small story if we have a time to
Yeah,
share.
yeah, sure. Go
One
on.
project like that project was related to have the PCB circuit board. But most of the PCB circuit boards are like A4 size, like the square shape, mostly rectangular shape,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So the thing is that they couldn't give me much image data. So till that point, I was thinking like, without image data, how can we train the model? How will the model understand what to track or what to not? So we like sat with the industry time to time. Then they were like, sorry, we are unable to give you any data. All you have this 9 images to train your model. I was like, what do
How
I
will I do?
images? It's not even possible to do the augmentation because it's just a rectangular shape, some PCB board. That's all. And then with the time, I came to a point. Okay, fine. What do we need to train? We need to train the model to understand a rectangular shape, right? Maybe this rectangular shape a bit more smaller or a bit more bigger, but it has to be a rectangular shape. So then we came to a point, okay, fine, we trained the model with this geometric algorithms to understand only the shape. So we weren't trained the model with any images. We used all classical simple algorithms to track down the images edges to understand where are the rectangular shape. That's all. So sometimes, if we think a bit more better, a bit more harder, then we might find out this kind of tricky points where we can make the model much more lighter.
Well, but according to MIT, as we are using LLMs, we are not thinking with all our capacity anymore. Guys, thank you so much for this podcast. Hamza, it was amazing having you here. Hopefully, we have you in another time. Just for everyone to remember, subscribe our channel, follow us, contact us on LinkedIn if you have any questions. And well, I'm looking forward to meeting you next week, James, and Hamza. Looking forward to meeting you another time in our podcast.
See you
Thank you so
guys.
much,
Bye.
Marina and James. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much
Hamza.
for inviting me. Thanks all.